Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost, and on this channel we're talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And I wanted to make this video today about narcissistic abuse and demonic entities. Now, we're going to talk some spiritual shit, right? If that is a step too far for you, don't discount the rest of this channel, because I have some really, really powerful work and I get really good feedback for how healing it is to listen to these videos, and there's a lot you can learn that you can't get on the mainstream. The thing that I'm doing here is sharing things, simplifying things and demystifying things that are kind of overcomplicated, and there's a lot of information out there, right? But not all of it is that healing for people. So this channel is called Ellie Frost Healing for a reason, so that you can listen and raise your vibration and get the release and the relief and the knowledge and wisdom, but beyond the knowledge and wisdom, the kind of tools and self-actualization that will really help you, right? And if you want to go further, I've got my program Sovereign, which I'll talk about. But let's talk about this, because I talk about the spiritual side of things, because this is a spiritual and energy attack as much as it is an attack on other levels, right? To our emotional body, our mental health, and it leads to poor physical health. So many of us get physically sick. It's very hard to be emotionally, assaulted really constantly without our bodies getting sick, right? Many people pick up addictions, get autoimmune disease. You can't help it. In my last relationship, I started getting sick, and I'm pretty good at healing my body most of the time, but it just, even my awareness was quite high by the end of that relationship of what I was dealing with, and I'm very good at like putting my own energy back, but it was I knew my energy was lagging, because it's just a constant battle in these relationships, and they're constantly attacking your energetic field, and we're constantly not knowingly consenting to it by being in relationship with them. So let's talk about demonic entities. So I talk about what goes on the spiritual plane, which is that narcissists are actually soul detached. I have psychic abilities. There's nothing woo-woo and strange about that. It's a high sense of intuition where I get downloads and information about people if I'm working with them and they consent to that. I don't do anything without consent, but I just have that, my channel's open. I call it my channel, which is like my crown chakra. I've got an open channel. Now, those gifts come from God. So whatever you believe in religiously, God gives people certain things to help them. It helped me through my evolution, and I believe those gifts are here to help other people through theirs too. So the narcissist is soul detached. They've detached from their soul. They're kind of an empty shell, right? And so the soul, the emotional body, the humanity isn't in them, right? They all act in exact similar sequences, and they're very destructive energies. They are destructive. They do not want joy, harmony, peace, evolution, and growth. They want your chaos, your drama, your pain, and your trauma. The majority of this relationship is built around trauma bonds. Now, when they're detached from their soul, right, they're not exactly, I wouldn't call it possessed, although I would say that a lot of the wisdom we've got from scriptures and from history is true. And it's talking, like, I can see where it's talking about narcissists, right? So I call it operating with an entity of consciousness they've consented to, which that entity is what we're calling narcissism, right? An entity of consciousness is like, I suppose, an awareness, right, that they're plugged into, a stream of consciousness, right, so kind of energy and thought body that they are cooperating with, that they've kind of given themselves to. But it's not that they're in a human blackout. They are completely consensual spiritually in what they do. They know what they do. They know it hurts people, right? And they also know that in order to evolve past it, they would have to have a spiritual awakening, right, which would mean reattaching to their soul, taking accountability, really looking at themselves. And most of them are not willing to do that. They actually think that the way they live is better. Now, that entity of consciousness, narcissism, is demonic, right? But it's not a demon that's just jumped into their body. So there's lots of things about demons and and I channel ancient wisdom, right? So really, people say, like, if you're under a lot of substance abuse, you're more susceptible to darker energies, darker thoughts. We all know this. If we've had a really heavy night on alcohol, we can be quite depressed the next day, right? And what's happening is energetic. So you've got an energy field, right? I always talk to you about pushing out your aura. Remember, your aura is 6 foot outside your body. Take up space in the world so that you strengthen. And I do a lot of this in my sovereign program. You strengthen your energy field so it's resilient, right, to other things being invaded. But when we're sick, when we're depressed, when we're emitting what people call low vibrational emotions a lot, right, our energy field collapses. Yeah, and it's more open to invasion. So the narcissist has made a spiritual choice. They have chosen to go dark, right? But other people, when they've got collapsed fields, other sort of energies are more like darker energies can feed off them and affect their consciousness, their way of thinking. So the narcissist made a choice. Narcissism is very similar to what is talked about as demonic energies. They are kind of possessed, but they've chosen to be. Other people can kind of go into low vibrational consciousnesses and do strange things. They can seem like they're possessed, but it's just because they've got such a collapsed energy field. They've been sort of playing around in darker energies for a longer time, if that makes sense. So a lot of what is written in the scriptures about, if you look at, say, the Bible, the narcissists were like the Pharisees, the people who were oppressing Jesus at the top, right? Other people, they said, got sort of bad spirits in them. And I think that's, again, they're just plugged into an entity of consciousness that's got hold of them. So that's kind of a bit different to narcissism. So I don't want to get too technical, but if you've got questions on this, please let me know. If you like this video, please comment and share your stories and let me know that you like it. Because this is quite a sensitive topic, but I think we have to address it. So from the beginning of time, we've understood there's light and dark. We've understood that there is I call it demonic energies, because it's like we are all energy, right? We are energy. You are an energy. I'm made up of energy. So it's like different energies that we choose to be under the influence of. We could be under the influence of love. It's a very expansive, abundant energy. Narcissism is a very limited energy, which is why they all act in the same way. It doesn't have a lot to it. It does operate in the psychic realm, though, which is why they're so intuitive and they can easily pretend to be and sort of mirror what you want them to be when they love bomb. So what we've got to understand in this is, to have a spiritual connection is important, right? Even if you're not religious, I think spiritual connection is beyond that. Is a connection to a higher power above ourselves, or that there's something bigger in the universe, or just feeling connected to the world at large and other people and the collective is enough. I saw a funny thing that, well, not funny, but I suppose, but a lady wrote the other day on she had a dating profile and she said, when potential dates say they're spiritual, she says, be more Pacific. Demons are spiritual too, because they're spiritual energies. I thought that was quite funny. But we're all spiritual because we've all got a spirit, a soul, and we're all energy bodies. So what our energy body does is it vibrates, right? It transmits a vibration in the universe. And the higher that vibration is, the more resilient we are to darker energies attacking us, targeting us, like narcissists and other things. And the more likely we are to go towards what's good for us and what's more abundant for us. The more impaired and damaged and collapsed our energy field is, right? And the lower that we're as a frequency and our energy is vibrating at, the more sort of pain, trauma, difficulty in our life. And I do have another channel on manifestation that you can check out that talks more about energy. So if you want more on this, let me know. Let me know if this makes sense to you. These are big topics, right? And I like to try and make them simple for us. But in short, it is a demonic entity, yes. But there's kind of, it is a demonic entity of consciousness that they're plugged into and they're operating for, and they're all kind of plugged into the same, they all kind of work together, you know what I mean? Like, they seem to get the memo. Like when, in the psychic realm, when like a narcissist has targeted you, often others will target you as well. They have a psychic connection that's very, very real. So I'd love to know what you think about this. Lots of love, guys. Please keep liking, sharing and subscribing. Join Sovereign if you're ready to really ascend your own life, like in so many ways, and heal from this for real. Lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon.